The Toronto Raptors made a blockbuster trade today that absolutely shocked everyone, and apparently they are not done because Adrian Wojnarowski came out with a major report today, a little Woj bomb that revealed the Toronto Raptors are still exploring more blockbuster trades that potentially involve Pascal Siakam. So we're going to break down what everything is said in that report, what's going on with this current Toronto Raptors team, and what it means for our current new look squad, because the Raptors, they're making moves, they're making major shakeups. If you didn't see it this morning, the first thing I'm going to say is, hey, you got to subscribe to the Raptors Digest. Over half of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel, and it is going to be madness over the next month with this team, with the potential moves going down, with just a reinvigorated sort of roster. It's going to be a really fun team to follow. So definitely subscribe to the Raptors Digest, as we're going to be covering daily content, more than daily, especially on days like this. But I'll show you the deal because we had a few more details get revealed from our last video, but basically the Raptors trade away OG Anunoby, now Precious Achiuwa, as well as Malachi Flynn for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, as well as a second round pick that's reportedly from the Detroit Pistons, which again is a lot better than a New York Knicks second round pick because it's basically a first. It's like a late first round pick because Detroit, they're going to have the 30th, the 31st pick, their second, because they are horrible. They are really bad. We're playing them tonight. Hopefully we don't lose, but, they're a bottom tier team in the NBA. So, frankly, that second round pick is almost like a first. So, Masai Ujiri, as more and more details came out, again, people are down on Precious right now, but I still think he has some potential. Flynn is a guy I don't think we were going to re-sign this offseason. So, as all the details are now revealed, Masai Ujiri continued to think this was a massive W, massive fleece for the Toronto Raptors. But what's going to happen now with this Raptors squad? Because again, we have RJ Barrett on the team, fits the Scotty Barnes timeline, is now our starting shooting guard, can attack the rim really well, streaky with his three-point shots. Some games he's cooking, all that type of stuff. I know this season he had like a migraine at some point and his shooting fell off a cliff, but is a player that can definitely get buckets, is athletic enough to be a really strong defender in the league, again has shown a lot of defensive potential, but then also some defensive lapses. So you're dealing with that with RJ Barrett, but again, a player with star potential, only 23 years old. And then Emmanuel Quickley, who again is only 24, is a restricted free agent this offseason, is going to get a lot of money, but 15 points per game, 2.5 assists, 2.6 rebounds, close to 40% from behind the three-point line, extremely fast, a good finisher, and was doing this all behind Jalen Brunson. So if he's putting that up those numbers as a backup, think about what he's going to do for the Toronto Raptors as a starter on a young team. Given the reins and stuff, I am pumped about this package. But basically, what else is going to go on? Because there's been some weird stuff happening. I mean, you look at the contract situation. Obviously, RJ's on a pretty reasonable deal over the next few seasons, locked in long term. As said, Emmanuel Quickley is a restricted free agent come this offseason, but then Woj came out and dropped a bomb, basically saying that Toronto is expected to explore trades involving Pascal Siakam. They are not done. They are coming out and exploring more deals, more trades. And this, we've been hearing rumors over the past year and a half, but, usually when these rumors come out, they feel like there's more weight to them. But I feel like a lot of Raptors fans, I know myself, I cover everything here on the Raptors Digest, regarding this team, game stuff, rumor stuff, trade stuff, and everything along those lines. But we got kind of numb to the rumors. And Bill Simmons came out and said he was hearing that this Knicks deal could go down a few days ago. We covered that on the channel, but it actually happened. And frankly, that shocked everyone. So now Pascal Siakam, a potential trade coming down, seems more and more likely, more and more realistic, but it's not just Woj saying it, who's obviously an insider and things along those lines. It's basically, this is coming from Jake Fisher saying that league personnel are certainly prepared for a Siakam trade to follow suit. Before this weekend's deal, Siakam was the Toronto veteran whom rival executives were pegging as the most likely Raptor to be dealt, particularly after the team nearly sent Siakam to the Atlanta Hawks this summer. And he's under an expiring contract after his own extension talks fell short. And Atlanta, the Kings, and the Pacers have all been routinely mentioned as NBA figures that are potential suitors for Pascal Siakam. So that's coming from Fisher on top of what Woj is saying. And then you also have Michael Grange, who again is a mouthpiece for the Raptors front office and stuff and things along those lines. But he had an interesting comments too. So I'm using this in context with everything going on. But basically, Grange came out and said that the Raptors presuming the Raptors sign quickly and hang on to RJ Barrett, who has a 3-year, $82 million left on his contract. Signing Siakam to a max extension would have serious tax implications for the team going forward. League sources are expecting Pascal Siakam to be on the move, but the timing is very much to be determined. So, lots of details, lots of stuff going on here at this point, but it seems like the Raptors are open to really fire sale, to make some shakeups, to have some things going down here now at this point. And, it kind of makes sense, but I also don't mind the roster currently as is constructed. And I think I'm going to give my take in terms of what I expect Masai Ujiri to sort of do over the next couple of weeks and things along those lines. But looking at the lineup of Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and then Jakob Poeltl. That starting lineup is a lot more balanced because Pascal, Scotty, and OG Anunoby all played very similar positions, similar roles, won the ball in similar spots, and all those types of things. Now we only have two of those guys on our front line on those wings, that can sort of blossom in their sort of areas. And then we have a guy in Quickley who's primed to be a legitimate starting point guard. Dennis Schroeder is a player that, yes, he's done really well for the Toronto Raptors. He's surprised a lot of people in how well he's performed for this team, but he is more regarded across the NBA in his past teams and his past standings as an elite six-man off the bench for any sort of squad. And he's kind of a underwhelming starter. That's what you sort of expect from Dennis Schroeder. That's been his natural role. That's been his best sort of utilization over the course of his career. Now we have Schroeder moved to the bench, and we have Quickley in there, given the reins as a potential starter. We have Gary Trent Jr., who's now going to be back on the bench. RJ Barrett's starting over Gary Trent Jr. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, in my opinion. I think Gary is a spark plug off the bench and things along those lines. So now we have some actual firepower in our backcourt off the bench. Schroeder, in the couple games we saw, has done a lot better job manning the point guard position off the bench than Malachi Flynn was, clearly, when we had Scotty at point. But now we have that fully loaded starting unit. We have a couple of scorers, a couple guys that can actually do stuff off our bench. And yes, Precious hasn't played a lot as of late, so our center position is still a little bit of a hole, especially where Jakob Poeltl is a guy that might not be getting a lot of run night in, night out. He's been played off the court at times, but it's good to have a natural center on your team. But Boucher can play the forward spot, and obviously we have McDaniels and Otto Porter Jr., who are very capable wing players. And then if you slide Siakam to the 5 or something along those lines, you're capable of running those types of lineups. So, frankly, I don't mind this Toronto Raptors team running with the group that we have right now after this trade, maybe making a little minor deal, minor shakeup. I think regardless, there's still a couple moves that need to be made, especially Christian Koloko is going to be out indefinitely because I think he would really help our front court depth if he was able to play, but obviously he's still dealing with a respiratory issue. But I'm not sold on this team because, again, RJ Barrett's not that consistent of a three-point shooter, even though Emmanuel Quickley definitely is. But shooting is a big question mark in the Toronto Raptors starting lineup with Pascal and Jakob Poeltl there in that lineup. So, that is one thing to deal with. But RJ he's not just completely busted from behind the three-point line, but I don't know. I'd like to see this current Raptors group and see things kind of go because, as we know, Pascal Siakam's trade value is not that high in terms of where you'd expect an all-NBA guy that's won a championship, been a number 2 option on a championship team to really be. So I'd really like to see this Raptors roster sort of played out over the next couple weeks, almost the same way Masai Ujiri did in 2014 when he traded away Rudy Gay, and then all these rumors similar to this Woj bomb that dropped today, right? Saying, DeMar's getting traded, Lowry's getting traded. This was in 2014. In fact, it was with a deal with the Knicks that got shot down. That sort of happened there along that front. But, I wouldn't mind seeing this roster play out. But then I want Masai Ujiri. I'm happy with these reports that have come out that, they're actively talking. They're willing to make deals. And now teams that sort of, we've been hearing reports, and frankly, fans have been feeling it when Masai Ujiri picks up the phone, when we hear reports about it. He's just there to waste your time. He's just there to sort of feel everything out, and then it's just a waste of time answering his calls. Teams now know Masai Ujiri means business. You can get Pascal Siakam if you offer us the right deal, and things just aren't looking the exact way we want to sort of look right now at this point. So the Raptors went from a team that looked desperate, that looked just a horrible team to be a fan of. Not like overall. I love being a Raptors fan. It's been a great decade for us, even though the past year and a half has been a little bit tough. But in terms of situationally, and we're still in a tough spot in the standings without our draft pick and stuff like that. But there's a lot of excitement to root for this team now in the games going forward for this month. And if things don't really shake out, just know Masai Ujiri is back. He is ready to make some deals and ready to finesse teams. I seen a few Knicks fans in our comment section roasting me my title saying we finessed you. We finessed you, folks. Now, if you get Donovan Mitchell, the trade will work out for you in the future. But RJ and Quickly coming to Toronto is a big win for this Raptors team. But let me know what you guys think about everything that's going on around this front. Thank you, Masai Ujiri. Thank you, OG. Thank you, Malachi. Thank you, Precious. Appreciate you, folks. But it's a new era. It's a new day for the Toronto Raptors, and we are hyped up. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.